One. And what's your name?
Andrea Henson.
All right. We here at Roofless Radio on one of these sites of this violent sweeps. Andrea, can you tell us what's going on?
So Caltrans evicted Ashby Shell Mound. Remember, it was a part of our there were 4 encampments along the I-80 corridor. When we started all of this with Where Do We Go, Berkeley. And we stopped the evictions for 2.5 years. And so we have approximately, we started with about 160 people, 150 to 160 people. Almost all have been housed, except for, I would say 12 remaining. We had about 16 people, some new people join in at Ashby Shell Mound, Ashby West. We did get a preliminary injunction from the federal court. It was for 6 months, and then that expired on April 30th. So the site was to be closed and swept. However, we worked very hard during this time to get people housed, or to get them a coordinated entry, because it's not that quick to get people housed. And so these folks were the last ones, and it was very difficult with the labyrinth of resources that they have to navigate to get housed. So, and it's difficult when you have an attorney advocating for you. When you don't, I mean, everyone here had a team of attorneys and workers, because we had litigation going. So yesterday was the first day of the eviction, and so Shauna Garcia, as well as about, I think, I haven't done the count, I'm going to say about probably 11 people moved here to 2nd and Page. And the reason that they moved to this street, this was already sort of established. There were people living in RVs, but was because there was just nowhere else to go. All of the Caltrans encampments had closed. They're sweeping people from Berkeley. If you're at 8th and Harrison on this side of the Gilman district, if you're in a tent, you'll get swept. So this was really the only street. We spoke to the city of Berkeley. We told them that, listen, I know that you've helped us. We've gotten everyone into the coordinated entry system, but there's nowhere for people to go. So they said, you know, we can't tell you where to go. So just, you know, but you can go somewhere. So we came here.
You can go somewhere. Okay.
So we came here, and I told them, oh, you okay, sweetie? Yep. Told them to come here, and Miss Garcia, the reason I am here is because we brought people here, but there's a rogue security guard who's very hostile, and he harassed her, and was just vicious, and threatened her with lies about calling the police and having her dogs taken away. So even after this traumatic event of having to move her home by herself and get all of her things together and not knowing where she was going to go, we brought her here. Then this security officer came by and basically just attacked her verbally. And so that's when I told her, I said, this isn't going to happen anymore. And what has happened is I've done everything I can as an attorney. We've gone to court, we've talked to the mayor. How did you get undone, little one? And it broke. And sorry. And now this is the last thing that I can do, is to come out here personally and stay and be an advocate. And then there's another woman over there who went to Emeryville, and she rode her bike 4 times over the night and used a bike cart to take all of her things to Emeryville.
Wow.
And yesterday, the Emeryville police came and said that she could not be there, that she had to move to either Berkeley or Oakland, and that they had no housing.
Oh.
She was exhausted, you can imagine. She did this all by bike.
Right.
So we had rented, Where Do We Go, Berkeley? Rented a U-Haul, both for folks here and for folks at Wood Street, because we had 3 evictions going on yesterday. Right. And so that was the U-Haul over there, so they went and got her. And I told her, you can come over here and be by Miss Garcia and I. And so my goal now that I'm here, and I'm not going to leave until these women feel safe. And then this morning, I spoke with another one of my clients who's a part of the lawsuit, and a business owner threatened, you know, just was screaming at her, we don't want you here, etc. She has nowhere to, they have nowhere to go. We've done everything. And so I called the city today, and we're working together to find out, one, who the rogue security officer is, and then also to see about getting more services, and especially not breaking up this community. And that's what I told the city, that we've come so far, and when you lose track of people, they have to start their services all over again.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here.
That's really good.
And we're not going to have anybody running up on Shauna, running up on Miss Martin over there.
Right.
And so, or anyone else along this street. I told them, just come knock on my tent if anyone shows up, and we'll handle it.
Any youth scholars have a question for Andrea? We got all the youth scholars. We got all the youth scholars here. Go ahead.
How do you guys, how do I put this? How do you guys like bathe yourselves? Like clean yourselves?
That's a
when it's
great
time
question.
to take a shower?
That's one of the struggles for folks living outside.
So I could never, I'm not homeless, right? So, and I don't say that like to say I'm not homeless. I say that to say that while I use wipes or I do things, I know that staying out here is nothing like, I have my stuff in other places, right? So many times folks who are homeless, they keep their belongings with them. It's not like camping, right? I have a hard time because I have a lot of stuff to learn, like even using the bathroom. It's all trial and error. You just figure it out. So for me, I just use water. It was actually when I stayed at Seabreeze, Miss Garcia was the one who showed me what to do. She's so amazing. She took good care of me, because that's why I got to take care of her. And so we would go in the summertime. She showed me how to go to the marina, and we would wear our bathing suits and take a shower at the showers outside. And she showed me which cold shower was not as cold. And she goes, "Come on, Andrea, we're gonna go." And we walked down to the marina, and I felt so good. Do you remember that, Shauna? Yeah, you took me. And so that's why I can't leave my girl. They ain't gonna run up on her. Here. So
I want to say though right now, because it's real important, some of us have been houseless in this group, but most of us at Homefulness are.
yes.
And when I was on the street with my mama, died. So we would do a little bit of what Andrea was saying. So we'd go into Walmart bathroom and, you know, do basically not a proper shower. No, not a proper shower. Because they don't provide showers for people on the street. But beautiful question is, don't you think they should provide showers for people on the street?
Yeah, come to my house, you get you
Okay,
right.
I'm just saying, which is real, because we know that a lot of, you know, conscious people have tried to have showers provided for folks, and then a lot of times, some of the larger ones like Lava may have done it, but then a lot of times they get mess, even from the city for operating.
Yes, they do.
So that's real too.
Yes.
Any other questions? I wanted to just real quick before we close out. Could you explain what what was an injunction for these young men who might end up being lawyers someday?
Well, I hope so. We need you. We don't have a lot of them, so we need you. So what an injunction does, what we did is they filed a lawsuit for various violations, constitutional violations. And an injunction, you've probably heard of a temporary restraining order, like a TRO. And normally we've heard that against people. But you can also bring TROs against entities. And that's the beginning of the injunction process, and that stops someone from doing something. Or it could also force them to do something. In most cases, it stops it. And so, in this case, we stopped them for 6 months from sweeping the Ashby Shell Mound encampment. So when you become attorneys, that's what they call a remedy. That's something you could do, right? Because you would say, how do we stop them?